Well, now I want to turn to Martin Brechbiel, MMR, another MMR, for his Scratch Builder's Corner. Martin, welcome.
Okay, Jim, let's see where, oh, there it is. There we go. I think, I hope. It looks right to me. Well, I'm sure you remember last week we had a bundle of coffee sticks, stirrer sticks, that were all stained. And this is what you can do with them. And pre-staining them is kind of fun. Well, you can't do it the way I used to do it because you don't get coffee in metal cans anymore. So you got to use a big soup can. And I just throw them in the soup can with a mix of dilute Minwax, pour it off, fish them out, spread them out to dry, and they come out all nicely variegated and not uniform, because one thing I hate is wood that all looks the same. It's unfortunate, but you know, our commercial basswood all is nice and smooth and polished, and it tends to look identical. You got to work at it to make it look different. But coffee stirrer sticks aren't basswood. I think they're birch, and they take stain all differently, which is kind of fun, but they are a little harder to work with because they are a harder wood. So this is just from last week, take the frame I had shown and just glue these down with carpenter's glue. A little bit of weight on top to keep them moving around, and cut off the ends. If there's any overhang, you can sand that smooth if you want, or you can leave it rough. I do a little of each because I think that just adds a little more identity to the edges. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth and clean. So there's what it looks like from underneath. There's a lot of pieces of wood here. So we have some extra floor joists that are glued in and tied to the posts. And all those posts are glued in place. So just cut a lot of, I guess those were like 1 inch roughly. Yeah, they were 1 inch, as opposed to, I started off at 3/4 and I said that was a little low. So 1 inch, so that's 4 feet high, a little higher than belt high. But, you know, it's just a little dab of carpenter's glue, stick it in place. They're measured pretty much spaced equidistant. You know, split the distance between the corners and just distribute the weight. I did not put posts in the middle. It's all perimeter supported. So you can see we put some angled boards on to hold it in place to keep them from falling over. And actually I applied them at left to right, top to bottom, counterclockwise as you go around, if anybody cares. You can go clockwise, you can go the other direction if you want. You can go random if you want. It's all up to you. It's your structure when you do something like this. So I just got into a directional groove and stayed with it. It might have had something to do with the music I had on, for all I know. And 2 at the end, spanning the distance across the ends. That's just, I don't even know what size wood that is. It's leftover wood from a kit that I developed, back in the dark ages, I guess it was. It's been a long time. And there's still bundles of this stuff laying around in my shop. So whenever I have an opportunity to use something up, it finds a home on a model somewhere. Okay, so all this stuff, you know, when you build something, it's not held together with glue. You know, try to glue together a house, it's probably not going to work very well. So you go into the nut, bolt, and washer castings drawer, and these are Grant Line ones, as I recall, and I pre-painted them because painting them later is a pain. They're gray plastic. Unfortunately, Grant Line doesn't make black nut bolt and washers anymore. Now they're kind of a gray or a funky cream color, which is really annoying. But okay, you have to work with what you got. Or you buy stuff from Tishi, which is kind of a rust red brown, which is kind of nice. But I decided to do this the hard way for some reason, unknown reason. I just slapped on the my current color of black, which is actually Brunswick green, because I had an open bottle of it. And that bottle's slowly draining down as I can make it go away. I don't have a lot of call for polyscale Brunswick green, but it makes good black because it might as well be black. Okay, so we had the four walls and we put it together and test fit a door in place and put it on top of our platform. And as I said last week, the size of the platform was actually determined by the structure it's going to sit on it. Seems to maybe backwards, but okay, so the structure's X and Y dimensions. Well, we want a platform that's going to have to accommodate it in some, at least one direction, and a little extra in the front to pile debris, human bodies, dogs, what have you, details that you like to put in front of things. I added a larger doorknob to the Tishi door casting, just a clothing pin, a sewing pin. The doorknob is cast on. It's kind of small. In fact, it's so small you can barely tell it's there. So this may be oversized slightly, but you can see it from 2 or 3 or 5 feet away. So you know, oh yeah, there's a doorknob there. So we need a roof. Not to get fancy on this at all. It's just 1/32 basswood. Probably 2 or 3. Well, it might be one piece. No, it's 2. There is a seam. I can see it. It's a couple of scraps glued up. It's only a 32nd thick, so it's actually pretty thin. So we back up all these surfaces, get carpenter's glue on. So you've got something for the glue to grab onto as opposed to relying on just the edge of this board and batten siding. So a little extra keeps it on nice and secure, and it's pretty much equally spaced, left, right, front, and back. So we'll put a roof on it. This is leftover paper from a Carolina Craftsman kit, back when Carolina Craftsman sold O-scale kits. And I still had some of that laying around in the drawer, and just cut it. It's already cut to about 3 feet. A little carpenter's glue. You work your way on. If you haven't put a roof on recently, you work your way from the bottom up. So you have overlap and the water runs down from top to bottom and your seams clear from top to bottom. And you overlap everything when you glue this paper down, just like you would a real one. It's not too hard to do. Taught my kids how to do it when they were about waist high. It's putting on a roof. It's just like you do it any other way. And not to leave it too naked, I added some fake rafters. These are, I think, 3x9s or 3x10s, O-scale. You just snipped off a short length on the chopper and then a sanding block to put a bevel on it so it fits up nice and tight to the board and batten siding. So it looks like it's coming through as opposed to just being stuck on. So you don't want to have a joint there that's totally visible. And if it just so happens that you run into, like right here, where there's the board and batten, the batten actually comes up in the way, you have to shave that off with your number 15 scalpel blade, and so the rafter sits nice and smooth there. So it looks like that batten fits up right on into the roof rafter. Okay, painting this, finishing it. I wish I could tell you what colors those are. I have a bad habit of not remembering colors because what I do is I save nearly dry or the scraps of polyscale paints and then I dump in about a quarter to a third of a bottle of water, and just make a wash. And then I'm just slopping it on and then messing around with it with a Q-tip or a applicator stick and spreading it around. I think there's a D&H gray and L&N gray. There's some brown, rust, black, and some other colors. So I have a box where I just keep these leftover paints that are almost dry, almost waste, but they're not waste anymore. Now they're washes for applying to structures wherever you need it. And a little bit on the roof as well, because roofs don't stay clean for very long. And I'll just walk around the building real quick. You can see I added some places a little heavier than others, did the platform as well. And yeah, the roof lifts up a little bit. Okay, fine. That happens. A strong enough wind comes along, it rips it right off. I have experienced that in real life. It's rather aggravating to find the roof to your firewood shed 40 feet away from the shed. And that's where we're stopping. Very simple, straightforward, basically a box on a platform structure. We'll start out, like I said, we'll start off simple and easy, nothing complicated, and we'll get more complicated next week. Pretty much can guarantee that. So we'll stop there. And any questions, or let the interrogation begin?
Anybody have any questions for Martin? Martin, thanks so very much. That's a great little structure. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's something you can do pretty quick and easy. It's nothing complicated. You can knock this out in any scale.
And it'll fit in anywhere. I mean,
Yeah,
it's small. You can detail it up a little bit more.
Well, you can add all kinds of things out front. You can put a sign on the front of it. You can put whatever you want with it. It's open-ended.
Yep. But that's a great little building to start with. Thank you so very much.
All right, Jim.